Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I'm going to show you how to play Wish You Were Here. Let's just take a quick look at what we're going to be learning today.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell?
So this song is basically the intro, which has like a tiny little bass line melody thing with a single hammer-on in it at a couple points, and then it's basic chord shapes and strumming after that. And if you're not familiar or comfortable with the basic chord shapes, I have a free ebook and a complete beginner's guitar course. I'll put a link to that in the corner and down below, and that's going to help you with all the chord shape and dexterity stuff, and also all the rhythm stuff, because I notice that's more important. A lot of people, what they really need to work on is their rhythm, so I have a huge emphasis on that, as well as showing you all the stuff you need to know, posture, etc. So please check that out. We're going to break up the lesson into those two parts. First, the intro. We're going to start off, I'm going to put my hands on a G chord shape. You'll see why in a minute. My middle finger is playing the 3rd fret of the thickest string, and then on the A string, open, and then I hammer to the 2nd fret. You can pluck it, you can go down, up, that's acceptable too, but I do encourage you to work on that hammer-on. I'll put a link in the corner to this exercise that I think is really good for developing that strength. Anyways, we start off like that, and then on the D string we go O2. And as far as the counting's concerned, we started on beat 2. It goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. And notice I'm ending on my middle finger on the 2nd fret on the D string. That's really important because right now we're going to transition into an E minor shape. And if I put my middle finger there, we're already halfway there. With this E minor shape, we're going to do a really simple strumming pattern. So down, up, up. As far as the counting or the rhythm is concerned, it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and. So a downstroke on 3, an upstroke on the and after 4, and then an upstroke on the and after 1. We're going through a few measures here with this whole thing. So I feel the counting is really integral. That's what a lot of people, they figure out the strokes, they figure out what notes to press. I want to focus on the counting because that's what's actually going to make the difference here. Putting everything together that we've done so far. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and. From there, we're going to play a lick that takes us into the G chord. Our fingers are already on this E minor shape. I'm just going to pluck the D string. So I'm playing the 2nd fret of the D string, technically. And then I play the open G string. And then I go back to that same fret on the D string. And then I play the open D string. And that gets me into my G shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Exact same counting for G. So I would practice it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and that leads us right back into where we started. Our middle finger is already on that 3rd fret of the thickest string. That's why I told you to start with the G shape at the very beginning of this whole thing, right? We can loop that going And some people like to leave these two fingers down the entire time for all the chord shapes for the intro. That's probably how it happens on the original recording, but if you play, the ones that you're comfortable with, that's totally fine too. I'll show you either way. Anyways, we go between E minor and G a couple times, and then we go between E minor and A7 the exact same way. So, and then we're going to go into A7 using this lick. So I was on the D string, 2, O, and then on the A string, 2, O. And once again, the rhythm is the important part. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So really simple, just like going into the G chord. And then we can grab an A7 shape. Or if you do that thing with the two fingers there, you play this guy. With a 12 string, it sounds a lot cooler, but I think on a 6 string, the regular A7 sounds better. For our A7, we strum it the same way, except we add a downstroke at the end. So we go down, up, down. There's an extra stroke there. As far as the counting, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. So exactly the same, but there's a downstroke on beat 2 at the end. And then we have, which is just like our very first lick, except without that first note. So even the counting's the same. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, and we want to land on our middle finger. It's identical to the first lick, but minus the first note. And we do the same thing. And here, to get into the next section, we go. So I'm doing a hammer on the same spot as before, on the A string at the 2nd fret, and then the open, and I go into my G chord. With the strumming just before that, so we can get like the rhythm in context, on our A7 chord, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And then we're in strumming land. And from here on, it's just going to be chord plus strumming pattern, so it's pretty straightforward. But before we do that, I want to mention one thing about what we just did, and that is after you do the strumming, it might be pretty tough to go straight into playing those notes, because you're like doing an upstroke and you have to bring your arm all the way around and just perfectly nail these notes. And what you can do is you can just ignore that first note of the melody, like this. So see how I just didn't play that first 2 on the D string? I just left it alone and I just played the rest of the melody. That way I could keep the rhythm going, I could keep the song going, because that's more important than nailing every note. What some people tend to do is go like, and like the rhythm of the song is like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, there's like a big pause, right? So we don't want that. We want to have a nice steady rhythm. So it's just a little something to take into account, when you're first working through this. That's totally cool to do. And then over time, you can add in all those little bits that you're excluding. Anyways, I'm going to play this with a metronome now, straight through, nice and slow, 68 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2. See how I just left that alone? I didn't play it all. This time I'll do it. Now we're going to go into A7, E minor and A7. that's it. That's the intro. From here on out, we just have a really simple chord progression. I'll just write it out right here. And to each one of those chord shapes, we add our strumming pattern. If you're not 100% comfortable with these chords, I recommend just playing downstrokes through them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, just going through them like that. Like that's a really good way to do it. Anyways, the strumming pattern that we're going to add to these goes like this. And you'll notice it's a longer one. It is 2 measures long. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As far as counting it out, it's pretty similar to what we already did in the intro. Let's just break it down a little bit. I'm playing a G chord here. We start off going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You know, that's the first half of it, right? A downstroke on 1, a downstroke on 3, and then we miss on beat 4 and we have an upstroke after. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My arm's moving down and up the whole time. Down with the numbers, up with the ands. And then we can add that up after beat 1 in the second measure. We can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. You know, and we miss on that 4 and on that 1 so that we can get nice, precise upstrokes. From there, all we have to do is play a downstroke on beat 2 and then down, down, up at the very end on 3, 4 and to finish it off. So let's go through this super duper slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, up, down, 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 up. And it helps to say the pattern sometimes, you know, just like padding a beat and going like down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. You know, you just read the pattern and tap it out like that so you get the rhythm inside first, because the mechanics of it, like the downstrokes and upstrokes, they really come second after being able to feel the rhythm to begin with, right? So that's my little tip for if you're ever having trouble with any pattern, learning to say it. Anyways, that's our pattern. Now we're just going to take that and add it to our chord progression. And a little trick here, you can see the chord progression right there. It's the same thing, except we flip around the C and D chord when we repeat it. You know, so that's how I remember it. It starts, you know, C, D, blah, 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 and then D, C, da, 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 da. So let's try this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you think you could tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold still red? A smile from a friend. Do you think you can tell?
As far as playing the entire tune, you just go between the 2 parts that we learned, that intro bit and then that bit. And I recommend just printing off the lyrics and just following along. You know, the lyrics are going to tell you the order of the entire song. I'll write out the order of the parts right here so you can just see it all. You could even write that down and listen to the original recording. That'll help you build up your sense of like where you are in the song. I also have a full playthrough on my Patreon page where I play through this song start to finish with, you know, the guitar, the beat, the melody, so you can kind of hear how it all goes together. There's a link for that down below. Also down below you'll find some helpful links like for my free ebook, my complete beginner's course, you know, and those are things designed to help you be able to just do stuff like this, you know, go from being an absolute beginner to being a confident guitar player with a great sense of rhythm. You know, there's a huge emphasis on that, on building up your sense of rhythm and then your ability to like get it out on guitar. So please check that out. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to learn more stuff with me, and I'll see you soon.